Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends.
Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends. Y'all ready to cook up some conversation? Come on.
Kitchen talk.
Let's talk.
Hey. So, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Or me, rather, right now.
We'll hold it down. It's okay.
I know. You know, one thing we ain't never low on is being able to talk about nothing. So we good.
I just realized I had a message on that board. I'm like, oh God. But you are right. We will not be at a shortage.
That is one of the things about this virtual space is everybody is actually now in your space.
Yeah.
They're in your house, in your homes, wherever you're streaming from. So in your kitchen.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, come on in. So thank you for joining me today. Dee Selmore, actress extraordinaire. Yes.
Thank you.
So, of course, JT is late.
That's all right.
Really? And then you come in bopping.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing good. Good to see you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Where Lisa at? I don't see Lisa.
Really? That's what you gonna do today? Mm-hmm. Okay,
I just see a black screen. I was like, I know you ain't.
You need to get your eyes checked or your device checked or something, because I am live for real.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
Okay.
So, Dee is here, a theater practitioner, and JT has so graciously joined us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, thank you. France is, but what I'm trying. Okay, I ain't gonna talk about that. I'm gonna need you to be on time, though. That's what I'm gonna need.
Whatever. You don't understand. You don't know what I was doing. I just got out of the shower. It's been a long day, and I had to make sure I wasn't dripping.
Okay. Come on, do that. That's okay.
Y'all see my face, right?
No, I can't. Really, I can't.
So, France is not joining us today that I know of. He said he was going to try, but he may not. Okay. So it'll be the three of us, and one more person is, okay, the one more person is texting me on the phone talking about what's the link.
Oh.
I'm like, Lord. Did he not get the same email that this is what I'm talking about.
Staying out of it. Okay.
Right. Check your email. So, okay. So this is what happens when you do live TV, right? When you do live stream.
That's the beauty of it.
You just never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Which also segues into live theater. Yeah. Like we can have everything scripted out, but oh my goodness.
You don't know.
The things that can go wrong.
And I love that. I love trying to fix it. in the moment. Is you're trying to, like, there's people looking at you. So how are you going to fix this and not?
Right. D, do you remember? So we've done a few shows together.
Yeah.
So do you remember Dark Legends?
Okay.
And you forgot your gun.
And they were trying their very best to get my gun to me.
You had to try to get the gun to you.
And for those of you who don't know, I'm about 5'10", probably almost 5'11". I was wearing a bright red dress and a blonde wig. I stand out a lot, and they're trying to sneak this gun to me. You know?
Right.
I was really about to ask. You did a show called Dark Legends. I really didn't want to know what it was about. You start Dark Legends.
Oh, we would love to tell you. There's the MC right there. It's the star right there.
Yeah. Hello, Charles Wesley Lattimore.
I made it.
What was
Millions
that?
didn't make it. But I was one of the ones who did.
So, thank you for joining us, coming in the kitchen tonight.
Pardon me for my kitchen. It's under construction right now.
Okay.
And it was kind of dusty, so I bought a few things from the kitchen.
Of course you did. So, I don't know, JT, do you know Charles?
I've heard the name. I have.
Okay.
So Charles is also the first Mr. FAMU.
Yeah.
Yes. The first. I got it. Number one. The first Mr. FAMU. Also a theater practitioner, actor, singer, dancer. Dancer.
I move well. Okay.
I move pretty good myself.
I'm moving and shaking.
So, funny story. So, I'm connected to all of you initially through theater, I think. So Charles, when he was here in college, he was good friends with one of the guys that was in our choir. So we would see each other, not necessarily know each other, but see each other. And saw a couple of plays and things like that he was in. Then later on down the road, we all growed up and everything. We go to Tennessee.
Crossville. Tennessee, to be exact.
I call it Mayberry. But we go to Tennessee. And we working on Dream Girls together. And so one day I was working on my laptop, and Charles was like, "How you know that lady right there?" And I'm like, "That's my grandma." And he was like, "This lady right here." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my grandma." And he was like, "That's my cousin Wilma." So then we turned and looked at each other, and we was like, "Cuz!" So all those years, and we are cousins.
Never knew.
So just crazy. So you never know how you connected to people. That's how small the world is.
Yeah.
How small the world is. So what I want us to get into tonight, and I really thought about Dee and Charles, mostly because during this time, if it not for COVID-19, you guys would be like, Charles would be calling me, I'm doing a show, so and so and so, or I'm doing, D always doing something, directing or whatever. So I wanted us to get into a little bit of how it's affecting you guys personally, but how you think it's affecting the industry of arts and entertainment.
Yeah.
Well, don't both of y'all talk at the same
Well,
time.
I know that D, you know, they say ladies first.
Okay. Okay. It's been good. Very true. I would have been on the road. I do my best to stay as busy as possible. And so far that has been working out very nicely. And COVID put the brakes on that in a way, in a huge way. But I'm a mom, so I have the stress of, well, are they going to school or not? What are we doing? So I have that stress. But as far as the creative world, it's they've really tried to take up the slack, and I've been trying to take up the slack myself. Like I got a couple of like online workshops helping people with their acting skills, and got to do Shakespeare online, a show for one of the theaters down south, and about to do another one for a theater up in New York. So another Shakespeare piece. So they've been keeping us, they're trying to keep us busy. People are trying to keep themselves busy. Lots of conferences. Like now's the time if you ever want to study something theater. Now's the time. Reading a lot of plays, online auditions, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
For me, it's sort of a different vein. I was doing a show, and of course, COVID put an end to that particular show. But then again, every day is a show for me, even if I'm not on stage. So it didn't stop that show.
Hey.
I've still been taking this act on the road. I just came back from Atlanta, actually. I was up there recording a song. So, still staying busy. And one of the things that I do say is I'm a jack of all trades and the master of most. So it has caused me to tap
Master of none.
That's a line, you know it. May the Lord be with you. But one of the things that I have tapped into that's, has given me my awakening is I always love to decorate. And so not just decorate people that most of you know me for, because I'll decorate somebody in a minute, but, decorate houses. And I started doing actual handyman work and remodeling. So I remodeled a bathroom, getting ready to start another bathroom, like I said, doing downstairs and kitchen and all of that kind of stuff. Okay. So the focus has kind of shifted a little bit for me to stay busy. Am I feel like I'm missing anything? Nah. This is
really.
I ain't missing that. And this is one of the conversations that people have to have with themselves. It's renewing of my mind daily to make sure that I am not missing something. And this is a wonderful, wonderful season that we are in. We're getting to know more about ourselves, our surroundings. We should be getting in touch more with our spirit, man. And that person is who we want to share on stage with people. So we got to make sure that it is polished within ourselves while we're sharing it with other people. So this is a good season for all of that.
I agree with you, but D, are you missing the theater?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I do agree, Charles, and I definitely agree. I have had to pause several times where I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't have been able to do this right now if I was in that grind. I wouldn't, like, because I'm on the road a lot, I have to, me and my son are a lot of FaceTime, Zoom now, that kind of thing. So just these moments that we're getting to have, I wouldn't have had, we're, getting to know each other in a different way, that kind of thing. So it's, it does have its pluses and, it does have its bonuses, but I am missing the stage.
theater people can be something else.
Which is true, you know, because it's so what you live for. But I was telling the kids in one of my workshops, I was like, you know, just because we don't have the stage, you know, doesn't mean that you can't still do stuff. You know, they were like middle school and high school kids. So, you know, I was telling them about when I was younger and I was afraid to be in front of people, I would go in my room and practice skits and practice songs and that kind of stuff. There's no reason you can't still do that, you know. So it's like Charles said, you got to find ways. Keep your, you know, be polishing what you're doing. What's yeah. I got to read a couple plays and I was like, if we hadn't stopped for a minute, I wouldn't have had time to do this.
Yeah, that is one of the things I think. Well, I don't know if I have really, I'm starting to feel the slowdown now, because on the educational side of it, we just been keeping moving, because if we're not in class, we're planning and trying to figure out, well, what does this look like with COVID-19? You know, what does the fall look like? Or how do we reimagine teaching on Zoom, you know, and that sort of thing. So technically I haven't really felt the slowdown just yet. And also being a creative, it's like you still trying to think about, like for me with Kitchen Talk, okay, we're not on TV no more. How can we still, you know, keep this thing going, you know, whatever. So I appreciate, I'm so glad you guys have been able to, you know, rest and meditate and get in touch with yourselves and all. I'm waiting on my day.
It's coming. It's waiting on your day.
But they say you're next in line.
Waiting on my day.
You said your bae?
She might be waiting on both of them.
Well, I mean, hey, if he come in COVID, I ain't gonna be mad.
Okay.
But you know, I get that. So let me ask you guys this question: what do you see changing that may take hold and last? Like, are we gonna, when this is all over, are we just going back to just going back to where everything is normal with theater, with this, with that, or the other, with entertainment? What do you see the changes or the adjustments that we're making now that actually you think are gonna stick moving forward?
Good
question.
Honestly, I feel society is you know, this world is a group of people who take everything for granted. And honestly, if we're not careful, we can slip back into the same old patterns and behaviors as things taper off.
Mm-hmm.
We're conditioned sort of that way to say, oh, well, this too shall pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So right now, during it, we change and all of that to, you know, stick and move. But when per se that it is over, we still going to gather. I don't think for the most part, you know, there's still gatherings going on. There's still a slow progression of the gatherings still going on. Like right now, you know, there's some rules that say you might sit a seat apart. But at the end of the day, that bottom dollar going to say, well, when somebody says clear, I need that seat to be filled because I need that dollar. And ain't nobody building bigger theaters to distance 6 feet.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. I'm thinking that hopefully one of the good things that'll stay is everybody's attention to washing your hands and you.
That should have been going on anyway.
I hope so. Putting on that good sanitizer. What?
D, why we had to get why COVID-19 had to come about before people started washing their hands?
I know. Like we was doing that in the first place, and we've been through this. Like they said, we had the Spanish flu and all that. What have you? We know better, you know. I'm like, that's what we gotta do. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But okay, but I said, hopefully those kinds of things will hang around, or the attention to it. I think we're gonna be in these masks for a while, which I don't know how many times I have had to run that lap back to the car, like, oh, I forgot my, you go to the door and you walking in and you see somebody, you're like, let me run back, And so, but I think that's going to last for a while. I think we're going to have to wear those for a good while after. And I think people are, hopefully, I don't really know, but hopefully they're getting more comfortable with wearing them and won't, it won't be, it won't be a thing like it is now. And with the theater, we'll see, because they're trying to find ways. Everybody's getting so conditioned to this virtual that maybe some elements of this will have to stay because we're getting so used to it. Like I do classes, like acting classes online. So that's got to stay. These certain things have to, are gonna be around for a while. And I think the virtual aspect of it is the one that people are getting so used to that they're gonna keep using it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, JT.
And the thing about it is, it's bothering my form. My form of art. Mm-hmm. I strip on the side sometimes, and I cannot. These women do not want to see me doing virtual shows.
Look, you're gonna have to figure that out.
They want to see me slaying this meat in person. They want to see. They don't want to see me doing this.
How to give the audience what they want?
Yes. Okay. It got to be in person. I just can't do it over the screen. It's not.
Okay, so just a reminder that we are a nighttime show, but we are not after dark. We do come on at 9 o'clock at night, but we still not after dark. We're not after dark.
Oh, what did I say wrong?
The educational system, what we do know is these kids are well advanced. They're dripping too.
They're dripping too.
You better let it. Hey.
JT, you got to work that out now. You got to figure out how to best give the ladies what they want. We have demands and good money and nothing to spend it on. So you better figure it out.
Right.
So are you guys, because Sandra is asking a very good question. So as far as anything innovative that we're seeing that is not just the streaming, are you guys seeing anything like that that's different from the streaming? I don't think I have, and I know that we're as the educational arm or in educational theater, I know we're always trying to, with this, is making us open up and think about some different things. But are you guys seeing anything like new beyond just streaming?
There's an explosion of it.
Yeah.
Just the streaming.
Yeah, everybody.
And it's so new, that people are still figuring it out. That I think the innovations are yet to come. The huge ones, at least. We were able to do small things with Zoom, like with putting up stills and, making it look like people were talking to each other during scenes, that kind of thing, which takes a lot of coordination with the Zoom thing. Like people have to come in and out at particular times to make it work right. So there is there is still that element of theater happening, even though it's live streaming, that element of like stage managing and that kind of stuff. But I don't think we've seen the really big innovations yet. Not yet.
I'm thinking that I haven't either. I think everybody is just going to this, let's see how we can get it out. And the only way that we know right now to get it out is through, this technology that we have right now. I mean, even pre-COVID-19, there was a lot of stuff that you could now see, with all of these streaming platforms, and everybody has a phone and everything is at your fingertips and that sort of thing. And you could almost kind of still depend on being able to go to the theater and sit and get that whole experience. But there was still a lot of theater on your that you could pull up on your laptop or your smartphone or whatever. So I almost think that we were kind of heading in that direction anyway.
I get a lot of it going on Netflix and these. That's they finna jump into it. All of those apps and platforms gonna get them a piece of the theater scene.
Right. And so even with pre-COVID, you had people filming or taping their live show and then selling it on DVD, like Tyler Perry. It's a show, it's a theater show, but he tape it and then he market it and sell it, and people feel like they've been to the theater because they bought a theater DVD. So
I think the drive-in, the drive-up theater is coming. It's sort of like we got drive-up church now.
Okay.
Folks sitting out in the parking lot in their cars, but they're still on the church parking lot.
We do. Hey. You're absolutely right. As a matter of fact, we have a drive-through service on Sunday. Our first one. It's our 140th anniversary. And it was like, you know what, we gotta come together. And so that's the best way to come together now.
Best way to do it. We do Facebook Live. And it's an hour there, so I get it in, wake up, roll over, hit that button, and watch it on there. And then
how y'all gonna do that collection?
Yeah, we don't do that. We don't.
How you do what?
Actually,
how you gonna
he said, "How you take a collection?"
App.
That's Cash App.
Cash App. But believe it or not, we still have people that come and put their checks in the mailbox at the church because they not doing the app. They're not doing the app, so they still come and put.
Good grief.
And so that brings up another question. How are we funding these theater productions or whatever we're doing in theater or even in art and entertainment, as far as even movies or whatever? How are they funding that if people can see it? How are they paying for it? How you get them to pay you for what you're doing?
Pay per view.
Yeah. But I guess we got somewhat of a system already going with that pay per view. I like the idea of selling access to the link, a temporary link or something like that. That'll go away, and you pay for a per house or whatever, because everyone of you know how difficult it can be sometimes to get people to come to your show when there is no corona. So they may not, which I was telling a friend, they might want to keep this around. A person may not come to the theater for whatever reason, come to the building, but they will be like, I want to support my friends, so let me get this $15, $20, whatever dollar ticket and watch it on TV. So even after they may still want to have that available to people, because that's just folks. You might even sell more because people don't have to get dressed and find sitters, and they just get their microwave popcorn and enjoy the show. So
but they just lose so much not being in the place.
It does. It does take away something, because that's part of it, is that live interaction. You feed, even though you don't play to the audience, there is energy from that audience.
You don't play to the audience, girl.
Now, in Dark Legends, that was different. That was the goal.
God, I miss that, y'all. I miss it.
I know. We were both in Dark Legends and Blood together, JC. But that was the goal back then. But normally, nah. So.
Yeah, Dark Legends was definitely a different kind of situation. It was fun though. It was fun. It was fun,
Oh,
but
the memes
crazy.
from that show. The memes, the mimes.
We do have a few floating around, don't we? People were using them. I love that though. I love that. People are like, can I share this? Absolutely.
So that is
about this theater and in this new season of it. I do still see people finding ways to stay connected. And it's almost like now there's more of a trying to stay. Everybody doesn't use the excuse, I'm busy. I got something going on, or I'm doing this. Life has really like slowed you down where you kind of want to stay connected with somebody or stay connected to people in the industry. So you are still apart and connected and trying to figure out, well, how you doing and what you doing and if we can share something. So, we talking more.
Yeah, that is true. So, but how do you get past, or do you think we've disconnected ourselves from wanting that experience that we'll just be fine with streaming now?
Go ahead, Charles. Go ahead.
I'll just say some people. I think you're going to have that set who are going to be die hard. Just like you got them set in church, they die hards. Then you're going to have a new generation, a new set.
I'm hoping that people will be so starved for genuine, actual human interaction by the time that it happens that we'll be sold out left and right, no matter what we're doing. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I mean, it was a shocker to see Broadway shut down. Like, what?
And he got I remember reading that article about, it's till 2021. And I was like, what? Having walked down there and seeing like the pictures of Times Square is like, whoa, it's just weird. It's so strange.
It is very strange. So looking forward, what do you think it's gonna look like when we do come back? Like, I know Dee, you just said you're hoping that people, miss it so much that they full force come back to it. But what if that's not the case? I mean, what do you guys think it's gonna look like, in 2021? Because if they're saying they're shut down in 2021, we don't know what that's gonna look like. So what do you guys think?
The Hunger Games.
What you say? The Hunger Games?
I was just trying to think of a movie. I don't know. Hunger Games, I Am Legend. It's something. It's something like that.
That's the truth.
Maze Runner, all of them.
Look, I didn't want to go too far and say The Purge, but
that could be true.
Ooh, boy,
be true. I don't know. I mean, who's gonna be comfortable? We're being so trained in social distancing right now. It's like, who's gonna take a while to let that go, if we ever get to let it go. So like, a theater that's got 100 seats, if you're selling every other seat, that's half. Your revenue is a little off, and theater is expensive to put up. So it's like, I don't know.
To be honest, to be truthful, the mandates of states or government is what's keeping people at bay at the moment. So in return, if that restriction or whatever goes away and they tell the people open up, they're gonna flood the floodgates.
Yeah, because I seen the clubs here. They are not bothered. They are not bothered. I saw lines outside that I was like,
wow,
want to get out. They want to get out.
What club you talking about?
Are we allowed to say? I don't want to inadvertently give them free advertising or nothing. Are we allowed to say?
Yeah.
Wow.
D was standing in line right along with him. That's what's going on.
My club days, they are not in my past, but they are. I have the brakes on them right now.
You might have to. I forgot you the mixologist.
Yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir.
So that's another thing. That's another thing, D. So as an actor, and you got this side job and that side job, and some of that's closed down too. So
I got hit hard. I have 2 side jobs. Bartending, which I've been doing for now we're going on 16 years now. And I have to stay active with the kids, so I was substituting for Leon County and everything. All of that got shut down immediately, so like we went away for spring break and we never came back. So I was like, yeah, it's been a little crazy. But no, I can't even say that. Let me back up. Because we have my household, it's just me and my son, but we have truly been carried through. We haven't been wanting for anything. It hasn't been, we've been in a good position to not be like, it was terrifying at first, like all of a sudden, 3 jobs gone, but we've been okay. God's looked out for us. We've been okay. This house has been all right. And I'm hoping it'll stay, that way going forward, but yeah, very scary for a moment to have, because, I'm a person that hustles. I'm like, if I'm not, which probably, I don't know if it's a good thing, but I'm like, I got to put on my money, so I'm like, all of a sudden, all my ways, my fun ways of making money are gone, so yeah, I had to go different routes, but what they say, necessity is the mother of invention. That's when I started, I was doing the private lessons online, that kind of thing, I'm like, we'll make this work, and still do what I love. So it's been okay. It's been
so really cool that I was just thinking about it. The 3 of us have degrees in theater, and then JT's degree is in education. Am I right, JT?
No.
Okay. So but JT is also an aspiring actor as well. So what you say, Charles?
I said we're all in education.
Yeah.
And that's the point that I was about to get to. So do you guys think that you have somewhat of an advantage over someone who just came into the theater business without a theater degree?
Go ahead.
Wait, let me make sure I'm understanding the question. Do we have an advantage because we have the degree over someone who just comes in?
Mm-hmm. In this time of trying to, like you said, you teach in the class, you're trying to make the money, and you have to find new ways to do that. Yeah. So you can't do your normal. Or I think I've seen a commercial about, restaurants and how actors, work in restaurants while they're trying to, get their career started and things like that. So being that, like you were just saying, you don't have those side hustles or those other things that you can do right now. So I'm asking is, because you have a theater degree, do you feel like you have a little bit of an advantage and still being able to, support yourself?
Yeah, but I think it works both ways. In my opinion, that degree is already an advantage, right? Because you are in contact with people who are the professionals in that world, right? Most people who go to their degrees get those degrees so they can go out there and be these higher ups in those worlds. So yes, you have those connections, you have that, that understanding, something that, you're not coming in still trying to learn things. So yeah, in that respect. But on the other side, for a person who's new, it's kind of a great opportunity because these casting directors and the direct, what have you, they don't want you to come to them now. They want a lot of people, online auditions. They're doing video auditions like crazy. So whereas you normally, I've been that person sitting outside the equity office, like, ooh, hope I get in today, get into an audition, so that is removed for them. And you can do it from your house and still send it in. And the casting directors, it's like, we got time. We got nothing but time. And they're watching. I was in a workshop online, and they were talking about, we're just watching videos. We're watching videos, seeing who's out there. So though they don't have that degree, they still have there's more entree for them right now, more of a way for them to get in now, I think, to get started.
I would say years ago, to speak on having a degree would be great. And it's definitely the leg up. Now there's so much information at their fingertips. Everybody YouTubes everything. Almost every connection somewhere is put up a billboard, go to your Instagram and all of that kind of stuff. So when you think about going to an institution such as FAM, one of the things for me that I can speak of is, again, the word that Dee used was connection. Till this day, because I went to FAM, got that degree, the connections that I have with the professors and all of that, when there is something that comes along on their desk and they can refer me or call me back in, then there is our leg up.
And they do.
And they do.
Yeah.
They definitely do.
That help us when it comes down to the Tyler Perrys and all of them. We all have to say.
But I hope so. Look, now that y'all know we off, call us. Looking for something to do, call me. Okay.
I love to get that from Tyler Perry right now.
But this is what I will say too, even about that, even though I called the name. It appeared Tyler's big, and that's a pinnacle to get to, big. But dealing with the folk at FAMU, they've been consistent. So because of that, I've been getting consistent work.
Consistent love. They look out for us. Yeah,
they
look out for us, no matter what. Yeah.
Makes you want to jump and shout.
Yeah, and I always tell them family made. That experience there with them was, was still with them, because I still go, give whatever they need, because I'm so thankful for what they gave me, So I'm like, that education and stuff. I didn't know. I was that person who didn't have the experience. Like I came, so I was like, I love this and I want to learn this. So will you teach me how to do this? So I can't trade that. So they still.
I know. Yeah.
And only I could get a connection with Ron Hart and Will Packer. If Will Packer, listen, man, if I could just get I'm telling you.
I was watching his IG live when he was doing the DJ thing. My friend just messaged me, just like, Will Packer's on live. We'll go and watch it. And then he did, we were like, do some FAMU. He's like, oh, Rattler's, he was Rattler's in here, and he played, a lot of down south music for us. And how it was a good time. I'm a Will fan.
No, I'm not. I can't with that face.
I know.
Yeah, we're not, Charles. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.
Family forever.
Right. Don't do it.
Can I ask this question, JT? Are you teaching?
Oh no, I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I jumped into something that I love acting.
Okay.
When I came out, I don't know if you know who Michael James is. He wasn't fan. He was the registrar at FAMU. I remember talking to him one time, and I said I wanted to do, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said I wanted to do theater, and he was like, "Oh, you ain't gonna make no money." And I was like, and I jumped into that, and I did it for 3 years, and it wasn't what I loved, and so
I would say the greatest thing when it comes down to theater, and one of the greatest things that people should be able to tell one another about it is don't chase the money. When you get into theater, you're not chasing the money. Heck, really, in anything that you do, you shouldn't chase the money. You should just be there to let it come to you. You know, it will come if you're doing what you need to do to it. But on one token is, again, if you're looking for the consistency of the work, it isn't so much about having the big show or the big name. If I can feed myself, and I liken to some of these situations that I know people who've been on, been in the Broadway shows and all of that, and they sort of look at me like, but you sort of live in a bigger lifestyle than some, a lot of them. And some of my checks when I'm working at these different theater companies, depending on where they were bigger than the checks of folk who were working on Broadway. And so when I got that concept of, well, it ain't always that particular name, you go where the work is and your heart is. And if you put you into whatever it is, then that will bring,
that money,
monetary, your gift will make room for you, or the blessings that you're supposed to receive from that.
That is true. And now none of us are working on Broadway.
But we're working. These regional theaters.
My money is
work.
Yeah.
What'd you say,
it's hard for me to collect my words when I'm doing these shows.
What'd you say?
We couldn't hear you.
Huh?
We couldn't hear what you said.
What?
He's doing that.
Oh, I was just saying, with me doing these virtual strip shows, it's hard for me to collect my ones. So that's, I think they throwing the money, but I'm just not receiving it. You see what I'm saying? So it's
you might need to find another line of work.
Trust me. I keeps working.
They may not be throwing nothing at you. That might be the problem.
A lot of people who are watching, or those who will watch. I mean, heck, unemployment right now, and to sign up for unemployment.
Yeah.
That's just going to carry some of us on through until.
But even past the theater, if we're looking at what the other side of it is, so anything screen, with soap operas right now, like completely, shut down, and they're having for the first time ever to like run reruns of soap operas. Can y'all? I never would imagine that we would have reruns of. I mean, I haven't watched soap operas in 10,000 years, but just imagine, in the time that we're living in right now, who would have thought that we would be watching the best of, Young and the Restless? Really?
Listen, I knew I wasn't alive yet. I saw Victor Newman with black hair, dark hair one day. I was like, come on, bro, really? Really? I know I wasn't alive yet.
I love that you know who Victor Newman is. So Victor
Newman is a bad dude.
Grandma's house.
Right. Everybody start watching the stories at Grandma's house. I'm trying to tell you.
Or at the beauty
and
shop.
You bet not change that film.
Or talk. You got to sit down somewhere and be quiet.
And be quiet.
Because the stories was on.
I got to watch my stories now.
12 to 4 o'clock.
Y'all
Okay, the whole day. That's taken.
I was more of
Y'all see
ABC.
You like to go to this at General Hospital and whatnot over there, huh? Okay.
Loving all my children.
And I was just about to say, I don't even know any from ABC or NBC. I'm like, then you said General Hospital, yeah, I guess. But you know, black people in the South, they watch Young and the Restless and
Bold
and what was the
Guiding Light.
World Turns, Bold and the
Guiding Light.
Yeah, those are the only ones I know.
Right.
They were
right.
doing reruns. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
But we would not have seen this coming, right? Like, what would really you would have never fathomed a whole world shut down. But in that, I think we have seen how resilient we are, because a lot of people, we're still keeping it moving, you know, in art and entertainment. We are still, you know, keeping it moving. I think Charles said it best when he said that we're having more conversations now. But the other side of that is we're seeing a lot of life that looks like terrible art, right? So when we think about George Floyd,
yeah,
that life looking like such bad theater, but it's streaming all over our television.
Yeah.
Or the art of protest, the art of civil disobedience. I was thinking about, I watched Celebrating a Hero, John Lewis.
Yeah.
And just so we're so glued to this that now this is almost our art and our entertainment. What is going on in our real world? And so how do we take this and try to bring change and positivity out of it? How can we as creatives do that?
I will say one, even hearing you say it dropped in my spirit of just that people are looking at it as art and entertainment versus trying to look at it as an educational vehicle and how not to go back down certain roads and paths again. They're looking to be entertained. And it came to a point where, unfortunately, the bad stuff seems to get the ratings. So keep the bad stuff going to get the ratings.
Leads. Yeah, very true. Very true.
Yeah.
I have encouraged people because I you know, as we all were extremely affected by what had happened and what was continuing that, like back to back to back, you know, it's just hitting us so much at once. So it is educational, it's traumatic, you know, to see being Black in America has this trauma, you know. So I was one of those people, I went through it for a minute, like just don't look at that, turn that off, stop getting on there because it's gonna, you know, emotions were going crazy, basically, you know. And so I was like, if I'm feeling like this, I bet somebody else is too, you know, somebody else has to be. So I started encouraging people to use whatever their art is and put that into that art. I was reading a thing where they were saying, you know, different civilizations have destroyed art. Like if they're invading a nation, another nation or what have you, they'll destroy their art to demoralize them, to bring them down, right? To help make their conquering of that whatever that nation is complete, you know? So I was like, you know, if you can use it to tear down, then you can use it to build up. And I was like, in this moment, we need artists. Like, clearly, if we didn't have our artists, we would have all been crazy by now, being locked up in our houses without a book, without a TV show, without a song, you know. So I'm like, we need to, especially Black artists, need to use this moment to say what you have to say, you know, whatever that crazy that you're feeling, put it in whatever your art is and put it out there for the world, because somebody else is feeling that, you know. And I saw some great you know, art pieces, like people drawing or painting, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you see these videos like with the kids dancing, a young man singing the song "I Just Want to Live," you know, those kind of things. You know, it has come out and it's made a differse. You know, that you know, people will like dismiss us, like, you know, the starving artist, and you know, oh, you're doing that little theater thing, you know, that kind of thing. But art is clearly important, and I'm still, you know, encouraging people to do that. Can I do a plug? Can I do a shameless plug? Is that
sure? Okay.
Okay. I have the Black Artist Movement on Facebook. Come join us. It's just a little group. Click join the group, and it's just people put their artwork in there. People put their songs in there. I saw a beautiful rendition of "I Know Where I've Been." She knows I'm talking about her. Beautiful rendition of that. And, you know, people just put in whatever they're feeling, whatever they're working on. We keep up, you know, stories, you know, what's happening in entertainment, that kind of thing. But I just say, you know, use the page, whatever you're feeling, put it out here, because it's important. We need it.
I agree. Charles, you gonna say something?
I was gonna say, D and JT, give us a monologue.
But you know what? That FAMU training.
That's some FAMU stuff right now.
Do it right now. Okay.
Give us a monologue.
Right now. Okay.
Well, you know, I was notorious for making up monologue. I never really learned the monologue. And, you know, I did myself a disservice. You know, I couldn't even necessarily blame it on them. But they let me get by without really learning these monologues. And Mr. Wells told me at the end, Charles Lattimore, before you leave here, you better learn a monologue. I still got casted in those.
But look, that's a skill in itself right there, being able to do
right.
it. And leave you, that's a skill right there. Look.
Like, for real. Like that is Hollywood for me.
Hey.
And Broadway. Like, I would love to go back there all the time and do shows with, you know, people.
Yeah.
Like Broadway, man, that's on the highest of 7 hills.
Yeah. And I love getting the new ones, you know. Like we're the old heads, you know, but I love getting to meet the new classes and tease them about how spoiled they are. I'm always like, y'all got this fancy. This is fancy.
Okay.
Let me tell you. I'm like, you guys are so spoiled in this theater, because it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love the renovations. It's beautiful.
JT, I think somebody.
JT, Michael throwed you some virtual dollars.
Hey, look at that.
Nope.
Look at that.
Y'all do this. Well, y'all
all right, so I'm saying it's almost time for us to go. Yes, I'm about to take him right on out of here. He is gone.
What?
Because you know, we can.
And JT is a great actor too, y'all. Don't you know? Let me brag on him a little bit. He, you know how we were talking earlier. You welcome it. Well, you know how we were talking earlier about being able to fix it on stage in the moment. I will never ever question, is he gonna be all right? Because he had to fix this issue with the door on stage.
Him and that door. Oh my God.
Everybody had a problem with that door. Everybody, well, those of us that had to walk out of that door, everybody had a problem.
But you covered it the best. I'll give you that.
The problem was they could not remember how the door was supposed to be opened.
That's true.
That was the problem.
That goes. It's not what you think. It's the other way. Okay.
That was the problem. Is that they could not remember how to open the door.
And
so they were putting the door in the reverse way. So of course it don't work because it don't work like that. And the stage manager is in the back saying,
and I was in the house laughing.
Jeez, I'm telling you.
The character that he was talking to, Charles, was like, kind of not, he didn't have a whole lot. Like his apartment was kind of, bummy. He was a bachelor and that kind of stuff. And so JT just kind of like, man, get your door fixed. Like it just worked with the whole scene, and I was like, good job. And I just cracked up. I was like, and that's it right there. We're good. Okay. So yes, don't sell yourself short.
Right. So one thing that we do learn about theater people, we have to be critical thinkers. We definitely have to be critical thinkers. So guys, look, our hour is up.
Hey,
I know, right? Like already, that went by so quick. So, I want to say thank you to D. Selmore. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Teacher, actor, singer, dancer, all of that jazz, director, all of it. Thank you to Charles Wesley Lattimore Jr. from the beautiful Orlando, Florida.
Me. That's the family. Yes.
My cousin, I love you, babe. Thank you for coming on in for me and not giving me too much. She tried, but
You look.
I was like, look, I need you. What you say?
I was keeping it tame.
Thank you. No, I'm talking about when I called you and said, come do my show. Like,
you called me when? Let me check my palm pie.
No, I'm the palm pie.
That's old school.
So, and JT, as always, thank you for hanging out in the kitchen. Y'all, my dudes, you and France. I do want to put this one plug in. Vote. Voting is your voice. This is our information for Leon County. But if you are not in Leon County, please find out where and how to get registered to vote if you have not done so already. For us, our primaries are the 18th. Early voting has already started. There are plenty of sites that are open. You can do mail-in ballots. I got my mail-in ballot the other day. I'm not going to mail it, but I'm going to take it to the precinct so I don't have to go inside and all of that jazz. But definitely, people, we have got to vote because we need leadership, especially during this time that we're in right now. We have definitely found that we need good leadership. So voting is your voice. Make sure you get out and vote, do your part. And as John Lewis would say, get in some good trouble. I love it.
Okay.
You know what? Okay, and now it's time to say goodbye because it looked like we might be moving to the after dark, and we're not after dark. This is not an after dark show. So thank you to all of those who watched us tonight, who chimed in, did comments and stuff like that. We thank you so much for hanging out with us on Kitchen Talk CTC.
Conversations that cook.
They cook. They definitely cook.